What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Paper Movies, a novelization book club podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Adam, and
I'm Matthew.
we today we are discussing one of our Halloween specials that we promised this month. We've already released two single cuts for Sleepy Hollow and Fright Night, and me and Noah did a discussion of Van Helsing, the novelization for that, and we got one set to release on Halloween Day. But today we are discussing the first novelization to A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, this book is actually pretty unique as it has the novelizations for the first three films.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They titled it "The Nightmares on Elm Street," parts 1, 2, and 3, a continuing story. It's a novelization by Jeffrey Cooper based on the screenplays by Wes Craven, David Chaskin, and Wes Craven and Bruce Wagner.
Yeah, Chaskin. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I can't.
I'm pretty sure it's Chaskin. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Like I said, this book features the first three novelizations, and just for fun, we decided to discuss the first book, which is the original film, the classic Freddy Krueger film. And before we get started, just want to give a big shout out to the 80s slasher librarian. Me and Matthew both listened to his audiobook that he recorded himself for it, and that's over at his channel. He does a lot of his own audiobook recordings for some of these hard to find novelizations. So that's for, if you're novelization fanatics that like we are, that's definitely a place that you definitely should go check out. He has done audiobooks for the Halloween series, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Gremlins, which we've also mentioned. Are discussed on this channel. So, guys, definitely go check out the 80s slasher librarian.
Yeah, and he does a fantastic job with the audio. I mean, it sounds like you're listening to an official audiobook. It's like unabridged. He adds music, sound effects. He changes his voice up. He does a fantastic job. So this is one of those books that we easily could have read on our own. It's like, what did you say, about 72 pages?
72 pages.
For the first film novelization. But it's like, let's just listen to it. Let's listen to 80 Slasher Librarian, and he did a fantastic job. It was really easy to listen to. So go check that out.
And it actually, I was going to say his audiobook actually really, his recording got me like really into it, because like I was working late one evening, and like when he did his, when he was narrating the story, plus adding in all the music and everything, it was dark. Like from where I was working, like kind of felt like Freddy Krueger was about to jump out. And so kudos to the 80s slasher librarian, guys. Definitely go check him out.
Yeah.
So
what did you think of this novelization, Adam? Did you enjoy it? Did you think, wow, this was nice listen from 80s slasher, but could have passed on the story? What is your take on this novelization?
Well, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely one of those straightforward novelizations. And in case, for those of you that have not seen this film, I'll just go ahead and give a brief I keep wanting to call it summary, but synopsis. There we go.
We could go with summary.
Summary, that's what we'll call it. But a group of teens are being terrorized by a nightmarish ghoul named Freddy Krueger. It is a mystery as to why he is attacking them in their dreams, but it's later revealed from the main character Nancy's mother that Freddy Krueger was once a child killer, and when he was able to escape being punished by the law, a group of the teenagers' parents took matters into their own hands and set him on fire, essentially killing him. And now he has come back as a ghoul for revenge to terrorize these parents' kids.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, it was pretty straightforward. I listened to the novelization first, and then I rewatched the film. And for the most part, there are like some minor small differences, like maybe different dialogue here and there, but for the most part, it was pretty much the film.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to rewatch the film. I watched it last year, or I think it was earlier this year when it was on Netflix. And when I was going through this book, I'm like, I can't really pick out a single thing that was different. It was pretty straightforward. I mean, it only lacked details, I guess you could say. Didn't really set the scene well when you're reading the novel. It's just kind of like, here's the story. So there's not a real tone being set, if that makes any sense. Like you would get watching the film. And of course, the film, and I think I said this last time we did the last novelization, is that you lack the visuals, which you're
Hmm.
always going to because you're reading the book. But with this one, you're not really missing much other than the creepy tone of the film.
Yeah, whenever I was getting through the book or the story, it was when I noticed is that some horror films like translate well into novelizations. I didn't really feel the same with this one. I kind of felt like with Halloween, you like uh, that could easily be, uh, well into a novelization. I don't really feel that way with this one.
Hmm.
And I just kind of feel like this is one of those that definitely needs, you know, the visuals, the music, the effects, Robert England's performance, and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was good. It captured the movie, but it just didn't really bring in uh, a lot of new things to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like one of my favorite horror novelizations is The Reanimator because it added so much to the story. It
Hmm.
was darker in a lot of ways. Um, and that's what I did miss about this one. They could have set more history with Freddy Krueger. We could have got a little prequel or so. I know it adds a chapter in here somewhere about the life and death of Freddy Krueger. So I mean, maybe it does that somewhere in this book. I didn't listen to that on 80 Slasher Librarian. I don't know if that's in the beginning or the ending somewhere, but this novelization for the first story does not contain extra material on Freddy's backstory. It's like Nancy's mom. Her name's Nancy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her mom has the glove with the
Hmm.
knives. Like, why? Why would you have that? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't we get like, why do you have that? Let's explain a little bit more. But I think you had said this. You coined this one, right? The novelization.
Novelization. Yeah.
Yeah, novelization. That's a twister, but that's basically what that was. 72 pages, real quick,
I mean,
straightforward.
that's like three chapters in most of the novelizations we read.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
um,
Pretty much.
but kudos to the author though for being able to fit the whole movie in that amount of time. I mean, granted, the print is pretty small. From my screen here, you can see the where the new book ends in like very, 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 very small print.
Yeah.
But I kind of have it bookmarked to the last page because there was something I was going to talk about in just a minute. But yeah, the story, like I said, it's a good story, um, and it was written very decently. But it's just, I just like I said, it was just mostly for like 95% the film,
Yeah.
and not really big on novelizations like that because I like the kind of nice blend. Like I mentioned this when me and Noah reviewed Van Helsing, that I like having the film, but I like having like what could have been deleted scenes from the film, if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
And
Gives it that little special, like a reason why you would want to read the novel.
yeah, and also like I want it to be like I could believe that this was a book before it was a movie, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but did you have a favorite part to it?
Man, not really. I've always thought the movie was just kind of mediocre. I know that might be controversial to say, but when I watched the first movie, I was like, that kind of sucked. And when I read the story, it was kind of like, eh. it still sucks, but it's an interesting concept. Guy murders people when they're sleeping in their dreams. So neat concept. The execution I thought could have been better in the film and obviously in the book, but it is what it is. It's a classic. It's Freddy has that look, the knife, fingers, glove. That's a cool little weapon. Um, but it's not my favorite scary story. It's just interesting to read. It's a slasher. I'm sure the second and third novelization will be fun to read, and you know, I'll need to revisit those films for sure. I don't think I've ever seen the third one, so I need to finish out the franchise.
They get fun as it goes. With the kills the death scenes get very comedic, like especially with Robert Englund's lines he delivers and everything, like "Welcome to prime time," and go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think my favorite scene is the part when I can't remember the names. This is what's horrible about these short books. You don't spend much time with the characters, so you can't remember their names. But the girl that gets like drug up the wall and across the ceiling, that was a cool scene in the film. I remember that was creepy. And in the book, it kind of it goes by it real quick, just word for word. All she went up the wall, gets killed, and you're like, that could have been elaborated and been a lot more creepy, but whatever.
Yep. I like how, I think a couple of things that I like how they kept in the part where Nancy's dreaming in school and she passes the hall monitor, and the hall monitor is dressed like Freddy Krueger, and then he turns around and says like, "No running in the halls," and I think one of my favorite parts was actually at the end. It's the very last page of the first book. It was when I don't really I don't really get. I was talking to my wife about this when we watched. I was like, I don't get why he pretended to be like like you think that Freddy Krueger has been vanquished and everything, and then at the very last minute he pops up again and throws in that one last twist ending. I'm just like, for me, I'm just like, I'm not sure why he did that. Like, I guess to mess with them or something like that, or make them think that they won. But you immediately tell that like something was going to happen. But I liked how, I'll go ahead and read it, but it was basically when the teenagers are dragged off in a car that's designed to look like Freddy Krueger's sweater, and then it says perhaps just like I'll just say Nancy's mother was still smiling and waving from the doorway when a talon-tipped hand suddenly shattered the glass window behind her, grabbed Marge by the throat, and yanked her back into the house with superhuman strength. And here's a line that I really like. Perhaps it wasn't going to be such a wonderful day on Elm Street after all. I don't know why. It's got a little cheesy, but I just loved how that line was, I love that one.
That's funny. In the film, didn't it go through, he grabbed her through like a tiny window from the door?
Yeah, pretty good practical. It was pretty good creepy practical effects too, like because you just see, like, you can tell it's a dummy, but it's still kind of creepy when you just see the woman just go zip right through that small window. And I said,
like, was it a dream? Like, was the whole thing a dream until the end? Was, because if everybody's still alive, and then Freddy's he's back, he's actually not gone.
It looked like kind of a dream within a dream. That was my take on it. Like I mean, with these Freddy Krueger movies, like there's times you just kind of have you're just supposed to go with it and have fun with it. I mean, like, it throws in so many twist endings. Even Freddy versus Jason, they did that. And
I have that one. I have that novelization, I think.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I still recommend it, and it is a hard novelization to find. I remember, like, when I just I was at the bookstore, and I sometimes like Half Price Books has their books out on a cart and everything where they haven't priced anything yet. And I was just kind of glancing through it, and then I saw that book, and I'm like, ooh. So I was like, they haven't priced it yet. So maybe there's one time when I found, like, I think it was a copy of The Rocketeer. They hadn't priced it yet, and the lady behind the counter was like, oh, well, here, I'm just going to go ahead and just clearance it for you. Just $2. There you go. Like, ooh, I wonder if that'll happen. Nope. This guy looked it up, and he's like, oh, this will be $25. I'm like, oh, but it was worth it. And then what's even more funny was I met up with you like a couple of days later, and we found the second Freddy Krueger film series novelizations.
Yeah.
So that was weird luck. But yeah, so like being $25 like that, is a good indicator. That's a pretty hard to find book. So
yeah, I paid $30 for mine,
and it looks to be in pretty good shape too. Mine's a little.
It is.
Mine's a little.
That's another reason why I listen to 80 Slasher when I can. If I got a really good quality spine, like I don't want to bend it, it's like I'll just go listen to it.
Yeah. That's kind of how. Plus, it was. That was my take on it too. And plus, it was like I said, I was just at work, and I was working late, and the audiobook that he recorded was like 2 hours long. I think I was like, ooh, perfect.
Yeah.
So, that's funny enough. That's pretty much all I got on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's short novelization. Can't really elaborate on it too much because there's there's like nothing that it added. It didn't add anything extra really, except for that little line that you read at the end of the book. It wasn't such a good day after all, So yeah, I mean, it is straightforward. If you want a novelization that's just straightforward, this is one. So, and of course, I don't know what the second and third one are going to be like. I'm going to guess they're the same way because it's 3 novels in this book, which totals like 216 pages, 3 movies. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out next year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll just make this an ongoing series.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah, there's a lot, and we'll work our way up to Freddy versus Jason, and then I'll be like, "Hey, Matthew, can I borrow that?"
Borrow the copy.
Actually, I won't need to. 80 Slasher Librarian, I think, has that one recorded.
Probably has
too.
It.
And I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he does. I'll have to double check. But for my grade, I'd probably just give it a B.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna give it a B because it's it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's straightforward. It is what it is. So
yeah. I mean,
you're into this sort of thing.
Yeah, if you're big on the Freddy Krueger series, I think you'll enjoy it. It is creepy to listen to at night. I will say that, or read it. But yeah, like I said, it's a very short novelization. So with that, we kind of had a little shorter review for it today. But guys, as always, thank you so much for checking out this episode. We hope that you enjoyed the review. Again, be sure to go check out the 80 Slasher Librarian and subscribe to his channel if you'd like to get some audiobooks that he does out of the goodness of his own heart, just so that way people have the ability to read, quote unquote, read these books. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again. And be sure to stay tuned for Halloween when we release the single cut for Halloween 2. And just a reminder, next month we do not have a scheduled discussion. So we are in talks of maybe doing another live stream. It's up in the air. Nothing official yet. We'll definitely let you know. But we do have a plan to come back for December for discussing Home Alone 2.
Yeah. That'll be exciting.
Yep. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much and have a good night.